Start recording. Okay, pin tactics is a very fundamental tactic in chess. Many of you already know about it, either explicitly or just like that. I mean, you get a thing, you know how to put the bishop against the knight and pin the knight against the king, etc. So you do that. Now we are going to look at it, the pin tactics, with more detail, and I hope you have seen, all of you have seen the videos on the pin tactics. And also the analysis that we did further on blunders, but we spent two videos on looking at it. So can you, all of you, confirm that you have seen the YouTube videos and you have also seen the handout sheet that I had shared, which is what is okay. Anup has seen it. A lot of you have seen it. Good. Tejas has seen it. Netra has seen it. Good. Vedant, Arjun. Okay, very good. I think most of you have seen it. Then so then you would have understood what is the pin tactics, right? And it is in the first four diagrams. It is all explained with very clearly with arrows. Okay. So so pin is, so here in this position. I will not go too much, but you can see that if black moves his pawn from c5 to c6. Okay, black moving his pawn to c5 to c6, then the white bishop on b2 is pinned. It cannot move and it cannot even kill the pawn because the rook is there against the bishop and the king, so they are in the same line. So rook is pinning the bishop, and now black plays c6, it will attack the bishop and will be able to win the bishop. Okay, so that's the whole what do you call, that's the whole point. So what do we do? So this is a very simple illustration of the pin tactics. Again, here it is a illustration of the pin tactic. Because the black pawn, white to move here, black pawn is pinned. The g7 black pawn is pinned against the king by the white bishop. So white to play, queen can easily take the h6 pawn here. Queen takes h6 is possible. Normally it would not have, because the g pawn is defending the h6 pawn, but the g pawn is immobilized. So that is what pin makes it. Pin immobilizes the piece temporarily. Okay, so the white queen can take benefit of it and attack, kill the h6 pawn, give a check. King will have to move to g8. Then queen will obviously take the g7 pawn with the support of the bishop on e5 and give a checkmate, right? So that is the power of the pin. Okay, because it immobilizes it. I think you, if you are all young generation, you might be playing some video games, etc. Some of them will have this thing that it is like, I don't know what you call it, but I'm just assuming you call it stun or immobilize or statue or whatever it is. Especially in a fighting game, if the opponent, you just make him immobilized for a second, then obviously you'll be able to win it, right? I mean, yeah, flashbang or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So it is similarly. Now there are two types of pins. If you have seen the videos and the handout, you will understand. There is an absolute pin and a relative pin. Okay, absolute pin means your pin is against the king. Okay, now against the king means that pawn or piece or whatever it is pinned just cannot move, because moving it will expose your king to a check. Okay. Oh, in this position, who is saying, Anup, you are saying queen is can take the bishop, black queen can take the bishop, but white queen is supporting the bishop. Okay, so even if black were to move, it is not easy. Black queen takes the bishop, white queen will take the black queen. Okay, so it is not like that. And after that, again, white is much better. White should win after that again. Okay, so anyway, but what I was saying is absolute pin and relative pin. So if you are pinned against your own king, then it is an absolute pin, because you cannot make the piece move, but king will get captured immediately, and which is not a legal move, right? You cannot allow your own king to get captured. So that is why it is called as absolute pin. Means you just don't have, legally you just cannot move that piece if it is pinned against the king. Okay, but if it is there are other types of pins called as relative pins, when your less valuable piece is in front of a more valuable piece. Okay, so you can get pinned against, let us say a knight can get pinned against a queen. Okay, I'm not sure, Archit, which position are you talking about? But let me complete and then I will talk. So no, don't worry. Okay. Pay attention to what I was saying. What I'm saying. Your knight can get pinned against a queen. Let us say now why it will get queened. Queen will never get pinned against a knight. Do you know why? Because queen is more valuable than a knight. So if you try to pin a queen against the knight, queen will simply move away and it will say, okay, I will move. There is a less valuable thing that you can take it, which is knight. It's okay. But I can move the queen. So why will I, given a choice, I will rather lose a knight than a queen or maybe exchange, right? So that is why. Okay, that's skewer. Yes, Anup, you are right. But skewer is a special type of thing. We'll talk about it later. It is the reverse thing, but it may not be that the queen can probably still move and defend the knight also, which is behind. But that's why you can never, you can, so generally you never pin a higher valued piece against a lower valued, because the higher valued piece will always move, right? It will say it is between an exchange, I will rather give a lower valued piece than a higher valued piece. But a lower valued piece can get pinned. So a pawn can get pinned against a lot of things, against a bishop, against a knight, rook, queen, king, anywhere the pawn can get pinned. A knight or a bishop can get pinned against a rook, queen, or a king. Okay, rook can get pinned against a queen or a king. Okay, and finally a queen can get pinned against a king alone. Okay, but these are all except the last one. Everything else is a relative pin. Okay. Now I will not talk about these first four examples where we have shown it with all the arrows, but I will look at some other examples. Okay, so let us look at some more examples here. I will go randomly. In fact, yeah, this is a nice position to know. This position where it is highlighted, right? This thing highlighted. Can you see white to move? Can you see there is a brilliant move for white using the concept of pin. Okay. Rutvij is the first one to say bishop c6. Okay, bishop captures the c6 knight, gives a check to the king. Okay, if you follow the rules of the thing that we had said, in check, white king can move. Sorry, black king is in check. Black king can move, but black decides to first capture back the bishop from b7 pawn. B takes c6. Correct. Bishop takes c6 check. B takes c6, and then Aidan is right. Queen to d8 is a deadly check. Okay, and king cannot capture the queen because there is a rook supporting it, and the bishop on e7 cannot also capture the king on d8. Why? Because the bishop is pinned against the king by the white rook on e1. Okay, there, can you note, do you notice the white rook on e1 here, right? So this rook e1, and now it is attacking along the straight line, and there is a bishop between the king and the king. So the bishop has got absolutely pinned. Bishop cannot move. Okay, no matter even if it wants to. So after bishop takes c6, b takes c6, queen simply goes down to d8 and delivers a checkmate. Okay, do you see the power? Otherwise the queen would not have dared to go to d8 because the bishop is there. Bishop would say, oh, where are you coming? I'm going to kill you. But there is a special, what is that? Flashbang. Right, the rook on e1 has flashbanged the e7 bishop of black, and a checkmate is possible, right? So you see the power of the pin. So you, whenever there is a pin position, you always see, because normally some normal moves you would, which otherwise would not be possible, become possible because of the pin. Okay, like normally you would here, unless you kind of knew of this example, you would have never thought that a queen can go to d8. Okay, first thing is that it is attacked. The d8 square is defended by three of black's pieces, but you are able to exchange one of them, and then there are only two left. But out of that, one is a king, so it will not come into the exchange scenario, and the other one is a bishop which has got pinned. So now you can make queen to d8, a move which was totally impossible to think of is possible because of the pin. Okay, fine, cool. So that is the power of the that is the power of the pin. So let us look at some more examples. Some more examples. Can you look at this this position here, which I have put? White to play. White to play. What is the best move? Okay, you can type your move on the thing. Rook to h3. H3 is not possible. White rook is on the 5th rank, so it cannot come to h. I mean, it cannot come to 3. Rook h5. Correct. Yes, rook h5. Okay, rook h5 is a brilliant move and it checkmates the king. Okay, because it gives a check. The pawn cannot kill the rook because it is pinned, and king does not have any square to go. Blocking is not possible, capturing is not possible, and avoiding is also not possible. ABC, both of them are not there, so it leads to checkmate. Okay. Now this is a slightly complicated. Next one is a slightly complicated example, but related to the theme of pin. So can you see again white to move? Can you see what is the possible move here? Who is saying rook to h5? Okay, there are all of you are saying. I hope maybe you have gone through the handout, huh? Or you are discovering. If you are discovering this yourself without looking at the answer and without looking at the video, then I think you are a brilliant player. You will become a very strong player. Rook to h5 is a brilliant move here. Rook goes across. See, actually, see, this position is great because it shows 3 different kinds of pins. Okay, I will show you. First thing is that rook itself is white rook currently is relatively pinned because there is a white queen on d7 and the rook is in line and the black queen is there in that same diagonal. So normally you will not allow this white rook to move because then the queen will capture the white queen. Okay, but so this is one type of pin, but yet white moves rook to h5, goes all the way to here, okay, and says, come, you capture my queen, no problem. Okay, Amodini, you have raised a hand. Is there any question? Is there any question? Or maybe by mistake? You have to type your question. Okay, I guess by mistake. So rook comes to h5. Okay, now this is called as a double threat. Okay, now the rook is threatening to, there is something, some threat on the king side here, but at the same time while black queen threatens white queen, but the white queen also threatens the black queen. So it depends on what. So if simply black queen simply takes the white queen, which is without any support, rook to h5, queen to d7, queen crosses d7. Do you know what is going to happen? The knight is here, the knight is on f7, it is going to jump to g5 square. Okay. Now you will see the power of the 3 pins that I was talking about. The black h6 pawn cannot capture the knight because now rook is on h5. So the pawn on h6 is pinned and it's a knight check. It's a knight check. You know the drill. Avoiding is possible, capturing is possible, but not blocking for a knight check. But capturing here, we saw that it was not possible because the pawn is pinned. So knight check, white is a queen down, but there is a knight check. King has to go to h8. No other square for the king. And now the rook will take the h6 pawn and give a check. Okay. Again, rook also cannot be taken by the black bishop because there is a white bishop sitting on this diagonal b2. So can you see b2 all the way to g7 and h8? So when the king is going to h8, the bishop is pinned now because the king is behind the bishop now. So bishop has got pinned. Using that, white takes the h6 pawn with the rook and delivers a checkmate. Okay. So this is the threat. So brilliant move. I mean, black can make something, but basically white wins because because of this pinning thing, he gets a winning advantage. Black can play for a little longer by sacrificing his queen, this, that, doing some things, but the game is essentially lost because of a pin, or rather because of 2 pins from the white side and then 1 pin from the black side. Okay. All right. I will not look at this position. This is the solution key is given. So let me go to some other positions. This is a very simple position. I hope you get it. Within 30 seconds, I think everybody should get this. White to play. Rook to a8, correct. Netra has said, Anup has said, yes. White rook will play the rook to a8, pin the queen. Pin the queen. Queen is absolutely pinned. Queen will have to exchange for the rook. Queen is worth 10 points. Rook is worth 5 points. Right? So white will be very happy to exchange his rook against the black's queen. After that, white has got a full bishop extra. Pawns are same and white has got a full bishop extra. So we should be able to win it. Right? Yeah, okay. So Tejas, it is actually, if you see, the queen is worth about 9.5 points. So sometimes you say 9, sometimes you say 10, it's okay. But the key point, it is almost double the value of the rook. Okay. So yeah, that's what I mean. It depends. It is about 9.5, as I said. So it's okay. The trade is always good. Queen, you will always be very happy to win the queen against your rook. Okay. All right. So okay, fine. Then now there is a concept of a double pin. Okay, or it is called as a cross pin. Rather, technical term is a cross pin. Okay, so no, there is a double pin is different and cross pin is different. So look at this example here. It is black to move. Okay, not white to move. It is black to move. Can you see? Can you spot the move? Queen to d3. Who is saying that? Anup is saying that, and it is right. Queen goes to d3. Only thing is that it is not d3, it is e3. Okay, queen to e3 it is. That file is e file. You have to look at it. White is on that side. So can you see it is not d. Queen to e3, correct. Queen to e3, black queen will go to come and here e3. Now the white rook is double pinned. First of all, the black rook is pinning the white rook against the king. So it cannot move along this file. It can only move along the second rank. It cannot move because the king is there behind. Now queen goes to d3. White rook will not be able to capture the queen also. Okay, because if white cannot capture because there is a black rook behind it. Okay, now can it move anywhere? No. Can it move? Otherwise, we said that the white rook had this mobility along the second rank at least, because it is still protecting the king. But now if the white rook moves, then the white queen on e1 will get captured. Okay, now the rook has got pinned against the queen also. After black plays queen to e3, now the rook has got double pinned, one against the king and one against the queen. Okay, and there are two forces attacking the rook. There is only one force defending it, and there is no way that white can bring any more defense to it. So next move, that rook is going to fall. Okay, for free. Black is going to capture the rook and give a check. And after that, anyway, it will be the game will end very, very soon after that. Queen will also perish. White queen will also perish. Okay. So, okay, fine. Now there is one more example. Let me move the chat around here. Okay, this is also an example of a cross pin. Can you see the move for white to play? Let me see who gets the white. Queen to d3. No, queen to d3 is not the right move here. Queen to d2. Right. Queen to d2. Yes, queen to d2 is now cross pinning the black bishop. Already it is pinned against the king. Now it is cross pinning against the queen also. Okay. So now the bishop is totally immobilized. Black bishop on c3 is totally immobilized. Even though the white queen is under the attack by the black bishop cannot really capture the queen on d2 because it is itself is absolutely pinned along the b2 to g7 h8 diagonal. So now same thing happens. White is attacking with two pieces on the c3 bishop and the bishop is immobilized. Black has only one defense for it, which is the queen. There is no other defense that it can bring to the aid of the bishop. So next move, what will happen? Next move, white will capture the bishop. Okay. In fact, black queen has to save itself. Because if it does move some other thing, then the white bishop, next move, white bishop will capture the bishop on c3, give a check, at the same time attack the queen. So it's a double attack and it will win the queen. So after queen d2, black has to desperately save his queen. Bishop is anyway gone. Okay, excellent. So now you are getting the hang of it, of the pin. Now let us look at some more examples. This unpin is a slightly more, you can try this later on, but okay, I think how much time we have? Yeah, we are about 10 minutes, huh? Slightly, yeah. All right. So there is one more. Okay, this is a very simple. White has, this is a simple move. I hope you get this. White, black to move here in this position. Can you see what is the right move? Bishop to h5. No. Bishop to, I think you are making h7. No, no, no. I think your numbers are all going haywire a little bit, Netra. Bishop to, it is bishop to, which it is bishop to ace h6. Bishop to h6. Correct. Bishop to h6. It is black's king side. So bishop is going to h6 and absolutely pinning the queen against the king. White has castled queen side. Can you see white has castled king queen side? King is on c1, queen is on f4, and if black bishop plays to h6, it will pin the queen and obviously win it. Okay, because very happy, black will be very happy to exchange his bishop for the queen. Yep, you got it, Tejas, right? So remember, there are some other moves, but remember, so many. You may think of some other moves to attack, etc. But this is the winning move actually. Bishop to h6 is a winning move. All right, Tejas, you are saying you can't really see the letters and numbers. You don't have to see. If I think now you are in level 2, you will just remember. You don't have to see the thing. You know that black side, when you are looking at the board from the black side, left side is always H, G, F, and right side is A, because you start the numbering is from the white side. So you don't have to actually see the coordinates. You can just figure it out yourself. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to very quickly go to, I'm going to go to some very interesting positions, 3 of them. Yeah, this position. Let me see. Who can you find the move for white here? And I have given a clue at the bottom. D5, right? Netra, you're right. Everybody, Rohan is also right. Anup, I think everybody got it right. B5 is the move, attacking the bishop, and bishop cannot move. Now the bishop has got pinned. But why? Bishop cannot, see, actually already the bishop is pinned along the diagonal of g2 to c6 to b7, because there is a king there. But now you are attacking the bishop. Now the bishop cannot drop anywhere. Bishop cannot go to even d5, or you what will happen is, even if you can you, okay, bishop, what will happen? Right, it's a cross, not exactly a cross pin, but a type of pin. So bishop can, okay, bishop can capture the g2 bishop. Okay, bishop can capture the bishop, g2 bishop. Okay, now saying that if you capture back the bishop, then it'll exchange, or you capture the rook first. Okay, then after that it is a full exchange. But what happens is, after b5, bishop takes g2, white pawn on b5 will take the pawn on a6 and give a check to the king. Okay, because the king is defending the rook really, but he is trying to nudge away the king. So now if the king moves, king cannot capture the pawn because the rook will fall. Okay. So that is the thing. So can you see b5 first of all? And if a takes b5, then again white will also take a takes b5. And after that win the bishop. Okay. So b5 is a move. It's not exactly winning immediately, but there is a strong threat. I put this position so that you can see the strong threat that is there. Okay. Cool. All right. But what would happen is after b5, if a takes b5, then white rook will first of all take the bishop. Then the rook will take it. In fact, you know, there is a stronger move is not even b5. You know what is the stronger move? Stronger move is rook takes c6. Rook takes c6. King cannot take c6. Rook, black rook will have to take it. And after that you play b5. Okay, now the rook has got pinned completely and it cannot. And then even after exchanging the pawns, again it is attacked and you are going to simply win that rook. So you would give up your rook for his bishop, but after that win his rook. So net you would have got his bishop for free. That is the move in this position. Okay. So that's why I think about it. So b5 is a move, but then think about it and then you'll discover that rook to c6 is a better move. Rook takes c6. Why to play here? Rook takes c6. That is the best move. Okay. All right. Now we are coming to a very super example. Counter pin. Counter pin. In this position, it is white to move. Give. No. Not queen c5. Not so early. Not so early. No, bishop c3 also is not there. Think carefully. It is white to move. White to move cannot play bishop to c6. Bishop to c5. Yeah. White plays bishop to c5. Okay. Pinning the black queen against the king. Black king. Absolute pin. Okay. What is black's reply? Now think from black side. What is the best reply? BC? No. No. White plays bishop to c5 first. Okay. After that. So in this position, it is white to move. White does play bishop c5. After that, it is black's to move. What is black's best move? Think. Not g6 but bishop b6. Correct, you got it. I think Netra, you also got it, but you just got the coordinate side. So it is b6, not g6. It is b6. Bishop play to b6. Now black is pinning the white bishop against the white king with his black bishop. Now so white bishop, what he was thinking that, oh, I'm going to kill the queen. Next move was not possible because you yourself have got pinned. So now black bishop. So now what is white move? So can you see, first of all, this bishop has come to c5. Here there is a bishop at c5 now, white bishop. Then black has moved his bishop to b6. So there is a mutual pin. White has pinned the queen and the black has pinned the white bishop, which is pinning the thing. Do you remember in a movie, I think there was a movie called Aankhein, I think, or everybody is pointing a gun at everybody else. There are 6 people. Each one of them has got 2 guns, but everybody is under the same. I think there is an English movie also with the same thing, and there is a Hindi movie also. So it is similarly. It is like mutual pin is like that. You are attacking somebody, somebody is also having a gun at your head. Okay, so that is what. But white has got a superb winning move after this. Nah, bishop to b6 will be an exchange, Rutvij. If white simply plays bishop to b6, black queen will also capture back the bishop, check, and after that it will be a draw. Queen to c4, no. Queen to f4 you mean? Yeah, I think you mean, Anup, you mean queen to f4. And that is the winning move. So visualize this, bishop to c5, black bishop to b6, white queen to f4, check, and double attack against the queen on d6. Can you see it? So that is the thing. So after that, it is all gone. So now Queen to f4 check, king moves anything. Now white queen will capture the black queen for free on d6. Okay, it's a brilliant position to actually study. So bishop to c5, bishop to b6, queen to f4 check, double attack, and then queen will capture the black queen on d6. That is the solution for this. Okay, fine. Finally, before we think, this is the brilliant, super brilliant example. So study it carefully. It has got a pin, counter pin, and everything is there in this position. So a complicated example. Pin, counter pin, and a counter pin. So can you see? It is like Inception, or sometimes you see those movies, right? You think you know that what the other person is doing, but then the other person knows that you know that what he is doing, and he plays something. Then so it is like a third level, right? Similarly, that is what is happens in chess here. So pin is there. So this position we saw with a counter pin, pin and counter pin. This is a pin, counter pin, and a counter pin. It's not easy to find the solution, so I don't expect it. But I will tell you. Okay. So there is a black queen on this e4 square. White queen is on f2 square. Okay. White queen is on f2 square. No, it is not the. It is not white queen to g2. See, first thing is that what happens is, sorry, it is black to move. Okay, it is not white to move. Think about it. It is black to move. No, it is not white to move. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. It is black to move. Black to move, bishop to f6 we will not do because the pawn is attacking, obviously. But the black to move has got a brilliant win by bishop takes e5. Black sacrifices his bishop on e5. Okay. White pawn will take it from f4. It will take it, but then black rook will come down to g2, pinning the white queen against the king. Can you see the absolute pin by the rook? So black is trying to say, oh, after this I'm going to win your queen against my rook, and I'll still be up. After that, my queen is superior. You will have rook and a bishop, but my queen is mobile. I will do it. Okay. So first move, bishop takes e5, f takes e5, rook to g2, pinning the white queen. Now, white, obviously, what is a brilliant move that white has got? White will say bishop to f6 check. Okay, bishop to f6 check. Okay, pulling the king in the g file. King has no other option other than coming to g file. Okay, so now that the king comes to g file, there is a black rook on g2, which is pinning the white queen. But now white moves his rook, which is on a1. He moves it to g1. Now the black rook has got counter pinned. So this is what I meant by pin and counter pin. Okay, black rook has pinned the f2 queen, but white rook has pinned the g2 rook of black. So it cannot kill the queen because there is a king behind it and it's an absolute, right? Both of the pins are absolute pins. Now what to do? Now white is threatening to win the rook on g2 because it is attacking it twice and there is no defense other possible. But there is a superb move for black. Black plays queen to f4 check and double attack. Queen comes to f4. The pawn is no longer there. Queen comes to f4, double attack against the king. Now and the f2 queen. So queen to f4, then king does any move, then the black queen will take the white queen on f2. Okay, now you might say that, okay, there is a white bishop which is protecting it, right? But white bishop is no longer there. Actually, white bishop has gone to f6, so there is no protection. So black queen is going to win the white queen for free. Okay, so this is the brilliant position. Go over it again. It starts with bishop takes e5, f takes e5, rook to g2, rook, bishop to f6 check, king to g8, rook to g1, and the final brilliant stroke is queen to f4 double attack. That is what finally wins. Okay, with that we are going to conclude the this session on pins. So we went from very simple pins to very advanced pins. Okay, lot of pins: double pin, cross pin, counter pin, and finally counter pin. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording now. So I hope thing, and tomorrow will again be there for the practice on the